Hey everybody, welcome. Give you guys a few minutes to trickle in here, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll go over the agenda today. What we're going to be going through real quick. So first thing first, I'll go through introductions, a little bit about my background, ADF's background. Then we'll go through some of the issues that we're addressing today, what we're looking at, our solution, and kind of how we view this as a good tool. And then I'll be jumping into a brief demo overview of our tool to kind of show you guys some cool things, what we're offering. And then at the very end, we'll go through a quick Q&A and then wrap up. As I'm going throughout this, we will be doing some polling questions, so those will be popping out. Make sure you can answer those, please. Any feedback that you can provide really helps us out with these. So just to start off, introduction, my name is David Colvin. I'm a digital forensics specialist here at ADF. I've been here for about 2.5 years. Background in tech, I'm a tech person. I love our solution. I love working with technology. I'm a computer nerd geek. I've been using computers all my life. So I love working here at ADF. A little bit of background about ADF. We have been in the digital forensic space for about 15 years now, heavily involved in the child exploitation investigation realm. Our tools were originally used for investigators and examiners to do image identification and analysis of those images on scene, specifically for child exploitation cases. So we've worked with some of the largest agencies in the US, the UK, Australia, Asia, as like an early case assessment tool, and that's kind of where we came from. Some of our early adopters were the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, again, for field-based forensics and analysis in the field. So a lot of our early years were spent creating triage software for government agencies, law enforcement. And what's happened over the years is we've kind of grown our tool and evolved it to do a lot more than just triage, which I'll show you throughout the demo. Throughout our development, our theme has been the same. Our mission has been the same, as we want to help investigators and examiners get to the relevant information and evidence faster. We've got over 10,000 users of our software. We've now got a pro version out that includes both mobile and computer functionality all within one suite, bundled together. Now, as far as the specific challenges that we're looking at today, backlogs. In today's world, everything's digital. Investigations rely really heavily on digital evidence now. There's almost no case that doesn't have a digital component to it. Now, having a large backlog can really slow down these investigations and hinder you. It hinders the ability to protect victims. It means that bad guys still out on the streets. This is going to introduce you to Digital Evidence Investigator PRO, which is a powerful tool that can really help your approach to digital forensics and help reduce those backlogs. It's a real challenge for law enforcement agencies when investigations get delayed. It makes it more difficult to gather evidence, things disappear, it makes it harder to identify suspects or protect victims. This tool is going to help you streamline the digital forensics process and reduce your backlogs so you can focus on what matters most, which is that investigation and solving that crime. The tool itself, DEI PRO, gives you a number of different features that you can use to streamline your digital forensics workflow and reduce your backlogs. One of the things we offer is time-based configurability, so we can tailor examinations to each case, making sure that you're collecting the most relevant evidence and then bringing that information to the top. So we have really simple to use what are called search profiles. They just allow you to quickly identify and preview evidence as you collect it. So it saves you a lot of time and effort as far as going through that information. DEI PRO also will streamline your on-scene investigations as well as your lab investigations. So we can search for specific information based on what suspects there are, what witnesses, victims, type of device. This is going to allow you to make better decisions in the field when you're deciding on what to take with you, what to charge, who to arrest, and how to identify and protect those victims. So you can collect relevant evidence and then build a preliminary report right there on scene, saving you a lot of time. It also is really good at going from being a field tool that you're using to triage on scene from being an in-lab analysis tool. So you're able to quickly get started on analyzing the data you've collected without having to waste time reformatting or recollecting evidence. Now, by leveraging the capabilities of DEI PRO, we can reduce your backlogs and dedicate more time to protecting victims. DEI PRO allows you to prioritize evidence, expedite those investigations, and get reports to prosecutors and examiners a lot quicker. So you can get your cases to trial faster and make sure that everything's getting taken care of. Our solution, so you can review evidence, you can make decisions, decide what you need to do on scene. We can do both mobile devices and computers, as well as external devices, SD cards, USB drives, hard drives. We can do video capture and screenshotting on mobile devices. With computers, we can do live scans, we can do RAM collection, boot scans. You can also do, like I said, those customized search profiles that I had talked about earlier. So first thing I'm going to do is throw a couple polls at you. So if we could some answers on that, and then we can start jumping into the demo and go into the cool stuff. I'll just give it another few seconds here, let everyone respond. All right, go ahead and close it out. And then I'm just going to throw one more poll at you. It's going to help me kind of tailor the demo for you guys. All right, awesome. Thanks for answering those. So let me go ahead and get my screen set up so we can jump into the demo. All right, so here we are. We are looking at Digital Evidence Investigator Pro. Like I said, DEI Pro. This is our flagship product. So this will do both Windows or computers and mobile devices. This is a really easy to use program. Like I said, our mission is to get frontline investigators information faster. How we do that is by providing a really user-friendly interface that is highly customizable and configurable in the background as well. So first thing I'm going to do is jump into Investigate Device. I just have this installed on a Microsoft Surface tablet, so this is really portable. It's a lightweight program. You don't have to have a big, giant forensic machine to run this. You can throw this on a Windows tablet, take it out into the field. We can also be deployed on a USB dongle, so if you're going to be scanning any live computers, you can put this onto a solid-state drive or any kind of portable hard drive and run scans directly from that hard drive as well. As far as what you can do here, so we can do a few different things. We can make full collections of the data that's on a specific device. We can analyze that data. We can also take forensically sound screenshots and screen recordings on mobile devices. And then finally, we can preview devices, which is going to allow you to kind of triage mobile devices out in the field. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is the screencasting. This is a really powerful part of the tool. Super simple to use, but has a lot of utility when you're out in the field or when you're just in an office setting. So I'm going to be using an Android device for the demo purposes today, but we do work with iOS devices as well, up into the latest and greatest versions. So we're up to date. You don't have any issues connecting with any of those devices. Connection process is simple. You just plug in the charging cable. We do have a wizard up here as well. This wizard is going to walk you through a step-by-step process of getting a device connected. If you're unfamiliar with forensic tools, there is a process. There are a couple settings that you need to change in order to get the device connected. But it's pretty simple. Like I said, it will hold your hand and kind of walk you through the process. You don't have to be a forensic expert or a really tech person to be able to use this tool. Once you've got it connected, all you do is you hit proceed. And then what we have here is on the left-hand side of the screen, this is a live view of whatever is on the device's display. So I can continue manipulating the device, controlling it like normal. Whatever you have pulled up is shown. So if you have somebody there who is consenting to providing some information to you, but they don't want to give you their phone, you can just connect the phone and you have a live view of everything on there, and then you can take a screenshot or take video of whatever you pull up on the device's display. So if you have somebody that wants to show you exactly information that you wanted to document, you can. If they'll give you your phone and you can kind of thumb through it yourself, you can do it that way. This window here does allow for control of the device. So right now I'm using my mouse to manipulate this phone. So if someone's holding the phone and you want to be able to take control, you have that option. Down here, we've got our control buttons. So this button here is going to take a screenshot of whatever is displayed on the screen. Really good here is for like your encrypted apps, your telegrams, your signals, anything that isn't stored on the device, cloud storage, web history. Those things are really difficult to pull off of a typical logical backup. Here we can grab all that stuff. So if you have a Telegram conversation that someone's got here, you can open this up. You can take a screenshot of whatever you need here. We also have the ability to do auto scroll. So if you have a conversation or a long conversation, documents, whatever it might be, if it scrolls, you can hit the up or the down arrows and it'll go up or down the page and take a continuous screenshot. It's using quote unquote AI to determine where the end of the page is and then to take another screenshot. So you can see here, if I look at this set, there's actually a grouping of 3 of them. So here's the first page, the second page, and then the third page here. So everything is captured in one group here. And that'll run for as long as you want to. So if you have a 100-page conversation and you just want to grab it with one click, you can do that. And it's really simple. But like I said, whatever you can pull up on the screen that you want to document, you can. Down here, this button will start and stop a video recording. So now it's recording everything that I'm doing. If there was a video or a Snapchat video on this device that you were interested in and that you wanted to be able to grab, I could come in here, open the Snapchat app up, play the video. We also capture audio here as well. So if there's any audio playing, that is captured and brought into the case once it's processed. I never know what these videos are, so it's always random. Hopefully it's entertaining. But like I said, this is really simple. It's easy to understand. And then once I'm done, I can stop that recording. And then everything that I just did has been documented. It's recorded. I can go back and play that. Like I said, it's easy. Prosecutor can understand what they're seeing here. Really, really simple to run this. And then when you're done, you've got a couple different options. So down here, you have the option of you can hit finish, which is just going to save your screen recordings and your screenshots as their own case. So if you only needed to grab a couple screenshots from somebody while they're out on scene before it walks away, and just save it right then and there, it takes 10 seconds. And then you can save it and you've got everything in a forensically sound manner. Because once we grab all this, we actually do get an integrity hash, we get all the device information, so you've got chain of custody on all this information. The other thing that you can do is hit acquire. That is going to do the typical backup of all the other data that's already on that device. So if you have a device where you wanted to get a couple screenshots or take some video of some stuff that you saw on it, and you also wanted to get the rest of the backup on there, you can come in here, take a couple screenshots, then hit acquire, and it's going to grab everything else and combine it into one case for you. So it makes it really simple. And then once we process all of these images and these videos, we run it through what's called OCR, or optical character recognition, and then all of the text becomes searchable. So I'm just going to go back here. I'm going to jump into my scan results. I've got a set of screenshots that I already did here. So here's kind of the layout. We've got the information, date and time when everything was done, how long it took. I'll jump into the search profiles a little bit later, but this is showing exactly what was collected. And then we've got our 15 screenshots and recordings that we did. You can group things together. So if you wanted to create like a specific group here, you can see I set it up as like Chrome history, and then I took some pages of their app library, and then some Kik chats. You can group things together. But what I'm looking for here is a specific username that I know is within one of these screenshots. That username is Komoko. If I type that into my search, it's going to look for that text within all of these screenshots, and it's going to bring me any hits. So we found one hit. It'll show you in the details here. You can see there's textual content. This is just all the information that is captured. That's the line that I'm looking for. It's got the username, 1955, Komoko. And then if I preview the image, you can see here, there's that exact line. There's the text that it had grabbed out of that image. So anything that you're grabbing with the screenshots, with the video recording, you can search that text in our tool, and it's going to go find it for you. And like I mentioned earlier, you've got an integrity hash. This is just showing like your digital fingerprint, and you have all the device information as well. So that is screencasting. Like I said, it's just a really simple, easy way of grabbing information off a device in a really user-friendly manner. The next thing I'm going to show you guys here is a preview. So this is also a great on-scene tool. Preview is going to allow you to quickly determine if a device has relevant information in a live setting without having to wait for a full collection. So the process as far as getting a device connected is the same. You just get it connected with the charging cable, you'll hit proceed, and then we're going to start making a backup of this device. So this is running live. We're going to start collecting all the information. What we're doing differently is that we're presenting all of the data in real time as it's coming across. So you can make a determination on, is this device relevant? Does this have evidence, without having to make that extensive collection that can take hours. So the first thing that we always collect is the device information, your serial number, your phone number, IMEI number. So you have all that right away. You get all the user accounts, anything that's associated with this device. And then if we jump into our pictures tab on the side here, it says we've collected about 200 files, but we've already identified every image that's on this device. This is in timeline format, so your most recent images are up on top. You have access to all the different image properties, any metadata that's associated with it. You can view that right away. If you need to preview an image, you can do that. You have access to all of our different filter options. So if you're looking for something specific, maybe you're on a search warrant, they found a camera in the bedroom, you want to see if there's any photos from that camera on this device, you can do that. You can check for location coordinates, all of those things. We use dogs as contraband in our demo. So if I'm on a search warrant, if I'm looking for that piece of CSAM, I found it with our tool, you can disconnect the device at any time and you won't lose anything that you've collected. So if you've got somebody you're doing a search with on consent, or if you're just wanting to do a limited quick look into the device and you see what you need to see, disconnect it. Everything that you've seen and collected up to that point is still saved, that you can go back and review and report on. So we can do partial acquisitions, no problem. If you got to pick up and leave somewhere quickly, we'll still save your place there. And then with videos on the side here, if I check the videos tab, we're going to grab all the different properties and the different metadata for the videos. We also do a frame view. So this is going to show you a set of frames that are spread equally throughout the video. So if you have a bunch of videos, you don't have to scrub through and watch them all. You can put your cursor at the top here and just arrow through. Gives you a good idea of what's in each video. If you want to zoom in on the frames at all, you can do that. And then if you wanted to actually play a video in here, you can just come in here, hit play, it'll play the video for you, and then you can kind of move on. Longer you let preview mode run, the more information you're going to collect. So if I jump back into my summary page here, you see we've collected a bunch more data off this device. So I have access to the calendar entries, contacts, what apps they're using, messages. Like I said, you can make determinations really quickly on how to proceed with a case using this information. So if you want to know who they're talking to, what apps they just opened, what networks they've been connected to, you can find this out in a matter of seconds with this tool. And then, like I mentioned earlier, if you saw what you need to see, or if someone says, "Hey, I want my phone back. I'm revoking consent," you just close this out. It'll stop the scan right away. Sorry, run a little slow from the demo, but I can go back into my results here. Our most recent preview is up on top. I can view the report just by clicking view, and then we're back into our summary. So all the information we've collected is here. If I need to go in, review some information, make a tag or leave comments, you can do that. Tagging, you can create, customize your tags here. And then you can also create and customize comments. If I want to leave a specific comment on something, I can do that. And then when you're creating a report, that can be included as well. So you've got access to all this information. Reporting is really simple. We can generate reports in a variety of different formats. You can do an HTML report, a PDF report, CSV. If you're working child exploitation, you can do a Project VIX format as well. And then lastly, we have a standalone viewer. That standalone viewer is just a portable case. So you can take all of your results or part of your results, whatever you're specifically choosing to include, you can hand off to another party, whether it be another investigator, the prosecutor's office. They'll get a file that opens up identical to our program, and it's essentially a license-free version of ADF that they can use for that specific case. So they have access to the full version of the tool. They don't have to install anything on their machine, and they can create their own reports from that portable case as well. So great way of handing stuff off to people. And like I said, it's not really difficult because you don't have to install anything. The tool's simple, so you don't have to deal with a really complicated program to continue going through that information. But that's really the layout, kind of how preview mode works. Like I said, preview mode is not meant to be targeted or really a comprehensive search. It's a quick pass or fail. Do I want to take this device? Do I want to leave it? Does this have evidence that I'm looking on, or does it not? So if you show up to a house, grandma's there, the kids are there, everybody's there, they've all got 4 or 5 devices, rather than take 25 devices back to the lab and throw all that stuff onto your lab to where it's getting piled into the backlog, you can just take the relevant stuff, the stuff that's got the information that you want, and not have to pile everything else onto the lab. And it helps your investigators, the guy and the case agent, kind of make decisions on how to move that case forward a lot sooner than having to run everything through the lab before they can kind of make a preliminary decision. So that's preview, real simple. So we'll jump back out into investigate device. Other things that we can do here. So we can do collections and then analyze that collection as well. There's 2 parts of that process typically. The actual acquisition phase, which is where we're collecting the data off a device. If you're just wanting to make a collection, you can go into the acquire part here, and this is going to allow you just to choose specific devices, what you're going to grab, and then it'll grab it for you. It's not going to do any analysis. It's not going to show you any kind of results. It's just going to collect everything for you. And then you can process that information later on, either with our tool or with another tool. Nothing that we do as far as the data here is proprietary, so it'll work with all your other tools that you currently have set up. So your Cellebrites, your magnets, things like that. This is just SQLite databases, so it's fully processable by other tools. We're compatible there. I'll go ahead and hit back here. Now, if I wanted to grab all of that data, do an acquisition, and analyze that data, I can go into our scan area. Scan is going to, like I said, both collect the data, and then it's going to run that data against a search profile, which is just a set of instructions on what you're looking for. And you can customize these profiles based on the case type, what specific files you're looking for, keywords, hashes. you can get really targeted and granular with your scans and what you're looking for, so that you're only viewing the information that's most relevant and not having to go through all the noise. So on the left here is our target devices. So whatever you're going to be scanning, you can choose that. Up top here, you do have the option of pointing it at a specific folder. If you have a forensic image file, like an in-case image or a DD, we can process those, no problem. You can ingest those here. Phone wizards here, so if you want to process a Android tablet, iOS phone, Chromebook, this will help you get it added. If you've already created a backup or an acquisition, this is where you would process it. So if I had already come in and done the acquisition and I just needed to analyze it, here's where I can do that. So if it's an Android acquisition, you just pointed at that specific file that you've already created. And like you said, you can see here, we also ingest extractions from other tools. We are a great validation platform. All of these tools collect different information, different artifacts, different captures. It is good to have more than one source and run your data through more than one tool. Because we are fast and easy to use, a lot of agencies use us as a validation platform. So they'll take their Cellebrite extractions, they'll run it through Cellebrite, then they'll run it through us just to make sure that they're getting everything. And a lot of the times there's differences in the data and what you're capturing. So if you're not running through something through multiple different tool sets, you might be missing data. And then lastly here is the remote agent. This is just going to allow you to connect to any of the Mac devices. So we can connect with a MacBook Pro, Air, any of the newer versions of the Macs. We can connect with an Ethernet cable. And then you can run a live acquisition, do a RAM dump or image directly from those MacBooks. And it works really well. Our compatibility as far as the devices go is great. You shouldn't have any issues connecting with any of the devices that you come across. So once you've chosen what devices you're going to be targeting, in the center here, these are your search profiles. So the search profiles are just a set of instructions on what you're looking for. So if you want to choose specific apps, you can. If you want to choose keywords that you're looking for, date and time range, you can do all that stuff. It's really customizable, configurable, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But it's just a matter of choosing what profile you're going to run. You can have these pre-configured. We can set these up for you as well. So if you have like a pre-planned operation, we do offer support to where we will set these profiles up, send them over, and you can import them. Or if you just need on-day support of an operation, we've got people that can stand by and help with that as well. And then up top here, we do also offer the ability to limit your collection between certain dates. So there are some jurisdictions where judges have placed limits on warrants to where they're only allowed to look at data from a specific range. This allows you to stay within that specific range. So if you're only allowed to look at information from the last 6 months, you can specify that. And then we're only going to show you information that is from the last 6 months that's been created or modified, so you can stay with those requirements. And then on the right-hand side here, you can give the scan a name. If you want to label a specific device, or if you have multiple devices, you can put a specific label on them. Then you hit scan. It'll make the collection. Then it's going to process all that information. I'm going to go back and show you some results so we can go through kind of what we're collecting, how it looks. Go back again, go into my results. Here is a Android device that I scanned earlier. Again, you've got your date and time, what was run, how long it took, what was collected, everything that was captured here. Pictures tab, there's a little bit we do as far as the analysis here. So anytime we find a hit on a keyword or a hash value that you're running, we tag it with a little magnifying glass here in the top corner, and then we float it to the top of your search results. So any of the low-hanging fruit, especially on the exploitation cases, any of the really simple keyword searches, a lot of like the Cat 1 terms, those are going to pop up really quickly, and you're going to see those results within like a couple minutes to kind of make that determination. So you'll see that information really quickly. We do also have some analysis built in for media. So there's a classifier here. This is going to take images and videos and break them into specific categories. So if you're looking for photos that have the weapons in it, or photos that have the piles of money, or you're looking for images that have pornography associated with it, we can filter down into those things. It's using a quote unquote AI. It's not perfect, but it does do a really good job. So if you've got 35,000 images to look through, this can do a lot of heavy lifting and kind of show you where the information. So if I want to look at the photos with the weapons contained in it. See here, want to look for anything that's a document. You can filter down into those things. It'll do the same thing for videos. If you want to find images with the cash or with the credit cards in it, you can do that. We have a bunch of different visual classes that we support here, so you can see bestiality, child abuse, etc. And these can all be fine-tuned as well. So this was kind of where we got our start with, was this image analysis. And then we can also do age degree protection. So if you're dealing with a child exploitation case, we can filter down into photos that just have infants or toddlers or adults or children on here as well. So that's the photos, the visual class. Other thing that we do here, I'm going to point out what are called linked artifacts. So if I go into my filters on the right here, go down into, there's a specific filter called linked artifacts. Linked artifacts just means that there's something else associated with a specific piece of information on the device. So right here, it's showing me that there's five images that have a message associated with them. So it was sent through some kind of messaging platform, either through SMS or a chat platform, WhatsApp, whatever it might be. We've determined that it's been associated with something like that. So if I look at one of these images, you can see under the properties, there's an actual hyperlink for messages. This is going to take you directly to the message and the timeline that it's associated with. So I can look at the messages timeline. I can see exactly what the user is doing, who they're communicating with, and where this information is coming from. So if you have somebody who goes and visits a website and then they downloaded something off that website, we're going to be able to link that download page to that downloaded file, and you're going to be able to say, hey, you went to this website on this date time, you downloaded this file, and then you sent it to these people. And it gives you a way of tracking where this information is coming from, who they're communicating it to. And then if I'm looking at messages, say I'm going through their messages timeline, and I see that there's an attachment here, I can click on this. It's going to take me directly to that attachment. And then if there's any other, if they've sent it to anyone else, or if there are any other messages associated with it, I would have multiple different links to continue and follow up on. So that's kind of the basics as far as the image analysis. We already went through videos and the frame analysis. If you're doing keyword searches, we do have all your listed keyword searches that you've run, and any hits are floated at the top here, so you can review them. Timeline view is great. This is just going to show you a timeline of every activity on the device, whether it be a calendar entry, calls, messages, apps being installed. You can view it all, or you can view part of it. So this is just showing me the entire timeline. I can see everything. If you go into the filters on the side here, you can see you can filter by specific activity if you want, or timestamp. No problems there. So if I just wanted to look at their call log and their messages combined into one list, I can do that. Now I'm looking at calls, messages, all combined. If you want to change any of the columns, you can do that. You can change the sort, turn columns on and off, fully customizable there. So timeline's really, really useful. If you want to view the files, if you want to see what's on like their SD card or what's in their download folder, this is a really simple way of doing that. So you can just check those specific things. If you want to look at what photos they've got or what documents that they've downloaded, and then you can view those things as well. Scan log keeps a log of everything that's been captured and processed. So you'll always have a complete listing of everything that you've done with this device, what you've captured. So you keep your chain of custody. Anything that's been tagged is listed here. I don't have anything tagged on this yet, but if you have anything that's been tagged either manually or using our automated captures, they'll be listed here that you can continue to follow up on. And then again, you've got your reporting. And if you want to pop out any of these options as well and see kind of more of a expanded view, you can click that here as well, and that'll show you all your captures. You can click into that. So that's kind of the basics as far as the layout of the tool. Some of the powerful analysis features that we've got. Like I said, you can really get through a lot of media really, really quickly with this tool. So yeah, that's that. Now, so we've gone through how we can collect the information, screen capture, preview, all that stuff. Next thing we're going to go through is how we can set this up and customize it for your specific use case. So if I go into my scan setup and key management, This is where I can bring in my own searches, my own artifact captures, and set up collection keys. When you're using a USB device to run a live scan on a computer or a Mac, you can create the collection key using any USB hard drive. Our kits all come with a Samsung SSD drive, but you can use anything, and then it essentially sets it up as a bootable drive. You would just connect that drive to the machine. There's a start icon that pops up. You press start, and then you can run your scans directly from that USB drive on your computer. So if you run across a computer out in the field that's really hard to take apart, you don't want to take the drive out, it's a surface, something like that, we can run scans directly from those USB keys. And setting it up is pretty simple. You just go in here, you choose if you want to have specific profiles loaded onto that key. You can, or you can choose what you want to get at the time of the scan. Totally up to you. It's flexible. One of the great things about the search profile system is you can have a super user or somebody who's really technical set these profiles up and kind of be in control of the search profile system, and then give them off to your less technical people, the investigators, and they can just run these specific profiles to capture the data that your technical guy, the guy in the lab, has determined that they need. So keys are really easy to set up. If I go into search profiles, we do always have some out-of-the-box profiles that are built in. We've got common child exploitation keywords, hashes, things like that. Some known material that's already been loaded in that it'll search for, but you can bring in your own. We can help set these up for you, like I mentioned earlier. If I go up here into the corner where it says new profile, we've got a bunch of different capture groups on the left here. So whatever I'm looking for, I can choose to turn on and off for each individual profile. So if I'm looking for traces of any forensics programs, this is going to look for your CC cleaner and things like that. It's going to tag those and let you know that it's on the device. Or if there's the calculator apps that are disguised, or it's actually a photo vault, we look for those things and we'll tag it so you know that it's there and can follow up on it. Peer-to-peer information, if you want to look for what files they've downloaded or shared, and then anything in this area that you see that has an icon on the side of it, that means that we support a specific app for that capture. So if for some reason you just wanted to grab peer-to-peer files that are shared and downloaded with microtorrent and nothing else, you can do that. We've got a bunch of different captures here if you wanted to look for traces of like VPN programs, child exploitation captures. Like I said, we do have a set of 400,000 hashes from ICE. I think it's 5 or 6 years old, but you can upload your own hashes as well. We've got some keywords, common keywords that come up a lot. Communications, if you're looking for their calls or messages or contacts, that's all you need. You can come in here and choose just those things. If you wanted to grab specific messages from specific apps, you can. If you just wanted to grab their Line and WeChat conversations, you can specifically choose those things. And there's dozens of different captures that you can go through and have access to that are already preloaded and pre-configured in here for you. So device data, what networks has been connected to, you've got multimedia, different keywords that you can upload, user accounts, what's been logged in, any notes, browser information, if you want to grab their download history, browsing history, save credentials grabs all the usernames and passwords out of a browser. So you could have somebody out in the field come out, grab those things, grab all the usernames and passwords, go back to the office, and then immediately start working on preservation orders and getting warrants sent out to the different service providers. And like I said, you can have that determination, that information to start doing that in seconds. And then if you wanted to bring in your own custom searches, I can go up in here to the corner where it says new capture. And this is going to allow me to bring in my own custom searches in a few different ways. So you can search by specific file properties. I just click on that. And this is where you can get really targeted and specific with your scans. This saves you a lot of time because you're only going to view the relevant information. We're not going to process all the noise. So if you're just looking for, say, pictures or picture DB files, choose those things. If you want to choose other formats as well, you can. If you want to choose specific file extensions, you can. So you can get really, really granular with what you're targeting here. In the center here, this is telling you if you want to collect anything that it finds that matches. So If you don't want to collect anything, if you just wanted to know that it's there, you can do that, and it's going to save you a ton of time. Or you can collect the specific things that you're looking for. And then it can do identification method a couple different ways. So if you wanted to use header analysis, it can do that. It can use header analysis on all files or files that don't have an extension. You can look inside of specific file types. So if you have like a zip file or any kind of container, you can tell it to search inside of those specific containers for the information you're looking for. So if you have somebody that has a bunch of images that are zipped up into a rare file, if you're not looking for rare files and you're just looking for pictures, most tools are going to miss that. But if we have it set up to look inside of archives, we're going to look inside that rare file. We're going to find the images on there, and we're going to bring those to your attention as well. People that embed images in documents, you can do that. You can search for that. You can keep it within a specific size range. And then on the right here, you can limit the scope of your search as well. So if you want to check absolutely everything, you can. If you wanted to target specific folders on the device, you can. Whitelist information, if you wanted to look for deleted information, we can carve from media from unallocated space. You've got options for all this. It's super flexible. And then if I go back, if you wanted to do a keyword search, keywords are pretty simple. You can do either substring or regex searches. We can import keyword lists up here in the top right-hand corner. This just allows you to bring in a text file list. So if you have a list already, or you can manually enter any kind of keywords that you have in here and set it up to automatically leave a tag or automatically leave a comment on that specific keyword when it finds a hit. And then down here, you can limit the scope as well. So you can always limit the scope where you're targeting what you're looking for. Then also hash values. Hashes are pretty simple. You have the options up here on the right. If you have actual files that you need to hash, we can hash them for you. Just point it at a folder or a specific file, and it'll bring it in. If you've got a hash list or a text list or a JSON file, you can bring those in here. And then if you're dealing with Project VIX or the CADE database, we can process those as well. So if you're dealing with ICAT cases, if you're getting cyber tips and you're working those kind of investigations, you can actually import a cyber tip directly from NCMEC right here. And then we're going to put all that information into a profile. So when you get out in the field, you just run that profile, and it's going to alert you if there's any hits for that information on those devices. And then once you import a set of hashes into ADF, the great thing is it's always there. You never have to import them again. So once I've imported a set of hashes, it's just a checkbox that you turn on and off for each individual scan. So you can have a bunch of different hash lists set up that you can turn on and off individually or in groupings throughout the tool. And then lastly here is the photo DNA. This is great, especially if you're looking for specific people using image analysis and videos. Photo DNA just allows you to upload a set of images or files. So if you have a known set of images of an individual or specific objects or locations, you can bring those in. And then it's going to search all the media on that device for similar images or other instances of those objects within the media. So if you've got photos of someone's face, a bunch of photos that you can upload those, and then we're going to look for other images of that person on the device. And that's combined with the classification where you're able to break it down into specific categories as well as the age detection. So that's really the gist of the customization, how we can configure this. Like I said, you can get really, really granular on the back end with this tool. But on the front end, it's really simple. It's easy to use, and it's got a lot of functionality that's great for using out in the field in a situation where you've got somebody there and you want to get that information right then and there. You don't want it to walk away. This is a great way of being able to document that. So that is the gist of the demo. Let me go ahead and set my screen back up. And we'll be jumping into the Q&A here shortly. So if you have some questions, get them loaded up. And I'm going to throw a poll out real quick. We get started. And this will be the last poll. All right, first question. Does the screen recording slash screenshot capture on auto scroll work on iOS devices as well? Yes, it does. iOS devices, you can do screen recording and screenshot the same. Auto scroll is currently only available on Android. That is in our next release though, so we shouldn't have any issues with that any much sooner. You'll be able to do auto scroll on iOS in the next release, but right now it's just screen recordings and screenshot capture on iOS. All right, next one. Can you give us trial version to test? Absolutely. So we do trials and evaluations. So if anyone is interested in a trial or testing the tool out for yourself, you want to kick the tires on it, we have no problem setting that up for you. I will reach out, Leonis, to you after the meeting here so we can get you set up. If there's anybody else that's interested, we'll make sure that you have my contact information. Just shoot me an email, give me a call, send me a text message. Owl, doesn't matter. Just reach out. I'll be able to get you set up. And then we also do free trainings every week as well. So if you want to get someone spun up on the tool really quickly, usually for evaluations, we'll throw people into our training. It takes about an hour and a half. We do it once a week. That kind of gives you some basic training on the tool. And then we also have an online self-paced certification as well. I know someone else has a question. All right, going once. Oh, that one. What capability of the tool do you find most useful? That would probably be the screen capture, honestly. That's a it's simple, but it is really powerful of what you can actually collect and capture, especially in a field setting. Because when you've got a victim or a witness right there, and they've got or say you've got a domestic violence case, you show up at the house, and the girlfriend there just gotten beat up or whatever. She's got the conversation or the video of the fight and everything, and being able to capture it right then and there without having to take their phone is really valuable from both an investigative standpoint and from the victim standpoint. So it's not invasive. You get what you need to be able to move that case forward. And then, like I said, if you wait and a couple days later you call them to come into the office, they might have changed their mind. That information might be gone. If it walks away from the scene, a lot of the times it's gone. So having the really simple, quick screen capture ability um, really makes it easy to get that information, especially from victims, witnesses, consent, CIs. If you've got a CI that you're working with and you just want to take a couple screenshots of what they're dealing with, you can do that, and it's really simple and non-invasive. The other area where the screencasting comes in handy is we're working on HDMI capture as well. So this is hopefully going to be in our next release. What we're going to do is we're going to have it set up to where you can plug in any HDMI device, like if you have a console, an Xbox, a PlayStation, DVRs, and then you're going to be able to capture whatever's being displayed from that device within our tool in a forensically sound manner. And then we're also going to be using external cameras. So you're going to be able to have an external camera or use the camera on the device and be able to take a capture while you're doing your screencasting as well. So it's a great feature. It's going to get even better. Yeah. All right. Well, if there's no other questions. Like I said, we've got some information here. Like we do webinars regularly. We have a bunch of how-to videos, on-site training. So we do a lot to help support the law enforcement community. Like I had mentioned, we do our 1 week free training every week. Our support team is second to none. They are the best in the industry. All of our support team are former law enforcement. They've worked in digital forensics. They're subject matter experts. So we have people standing by available to support you. Like I had mentioned earlier, if you have like a pre-planned operation that you know you're going to be going out on, we can help front load profiles for you. We can provide support while they're out on scene. We have people waiting by the phone. So if you're out in the field and you need to get a hold of somebody right away, we've got people that you can work with here in the U.S. And in Europe to quickly get an answer and get everything taken care of. The other thing about ADF that is great is our development team is awesome. We're a smaller company. We're not as big as the Celebrator of Magnets, but our development team really works with both what we hear in the sales side as well as our customers to help develop the tool based on what you guys need, what you're asking for, what you're looking for, and that's kind of our guiding light and our on how we set up this tool, what we add, and what we develop. So I just want to thank you guys for your time. I know it's really valuable. I don't know if you can tell, but we are really proud of our tool. I'm proud of our tool, what we are able to do, and our solution here. Again, just some quick points. We're all about on-scene speed, accuracy, getting you that information, that intelligence that you need. This is a really easy, simple tool. Don't have to be a really technical user, but you can have a really technical user can get a lot of use out of this tool using their investigators as well as themselves in like a lab setting. So yeah, thank you so much for you guys' time, and hope everybody has a great day. Again, if you have any questions or if you want to try the tool out, just reach out, and we'll be more than happy to set that up for you. Thanks.